Hello everyone. In this presentation, I'll talk about graduation. I'm going to go over how to determine if you're eligible to apply for graduation and also the process for applying for graduation. So how do you know if you're ready to apply for graduation? Well, first of all, what you should do is go to the San Jose State graduation application webpage. On that website, you'll see a lot of details and information about graduation, the eligibility criteria, how to apply, and also what happens after you've applied for graduation. So I really encourage you guys to go and visit that website for more details. Now, in general, the eligibility for graduation are listed here. So to be eligible to graduate, you have to have completed at least 85 units with no more than 70 units coming from community college. You have to be in good academic standing. So that means that your GPA is going to be 2.0 or higher. Also, you have to be able to complete all of your remaining degree requirements within 1 or 2 semesters. Now, if you are eligible to apply for graduation, then you should see the note on your My Progress report that states eligible for graduation. And there should also be an expected graduation term listed, like spring of 2024 or fall of 2025, something like that. So if you do have this note on your My Progress report that says you're eligible for graduation, then you should start the process of applying for graduation. Okay, so let's talk about that next. If you are eligible for graduation and you've met all of the criteria that I've outlined previously, then one thing that you should note is that there are 2 application deadlines. Okay, so when you're applying for graduation, you want to make sure ideally that you apply for graduation 2 semesters before your expected graduation term. So that's a year before you expect to graduate. So again, if you're expected to graduate in spring of 2024, then you should be applying for graduation in spring of 2023. If you're expecting to graduate in fall of 2025, you should be applying for graduation in fall of 2024. Okay, so again, ideally you want to apply at least 2 semesters before your expected graduation term. The reason for that is it gives the university a chance to review all of your graduation requirements to see if you've met them. If there are any issues or you're missing requirements, they can notify you, and then you still have time to complete those missing requirements and still meet your expected graduation term. So that's why the university asks students to apply 2 semesters before they expect to graduate. Okay? Now I know that's not always possible. Some students apply 1 semester prior to their expected graduation term. That's okay as well, but just make sure that you go to the San Jose State graduation webpage, because there are specific deadlines in order for you to be guaranteed registration. All right, so the first deadline that they state guarantees students 2 semesters with priority registration. The second deadline to apply for graduation guarantees 1 semester with priority registration. And the deadlines are going to depend on what your expected graduation term is. So if you're expecting to graduate in a fall semester, then the first deadline is usually in early October, and the second deadline is usually in mid-March. But if you're expecting to graduate in either a spring or summer semester, then the first deadline to apply for graduation is in mid-March. The second deadline is mid-October. Okay, so again, to see the specific dates for these application deadlines, go to the San Jose State graduation webpage and it will have them listed there. Okay? Now, to apply for graduation, then you're going to use the Apply for Graduation link on your My Academics page. So again, if you go to your My Academics page and you look at the box there, it should say graduation status. If you're eligible to apply for graduation, you should see an Apply for Graduation link there. Use that link and follow the instructions to apply for graduation. If you need additional guidance for how to do that, here's a link to a tutorial showing you how to apply for graduation online. Okay, so I have the link here. It's also available on the graduation website. Now, if there's no Apply for Graduation link, then what you can do is contact your graduation evaluator. Now, your graduation evaluator is the person at the registrar's office who is assigned to students to help them apply for graduation. They will notify you if there are any issues or problems with meeting your graduation requirement, and they'll also work with you after you've applied for graduation. So to find who your graduation evaluator is, I've included a link here for you to use. Who your evaluator is for graduation will depend on your last name. So if your last name begins with a letter between A through L, it'll be one evaluator. If your last name begins with M through Z, it will be a different evaluator. So if you don't have a Apply for Graduation link, then contact the evaluators and they will either send you a link or they'll review your progress towards your degree to let you know if you are eligible or not. Also, you can contact one of the psychology advisors and we could also help you with that process if you don't have an Apply for Graduation link and you believe you are eligible to apply for graduation. Now, let's say that you're not sure if you're eligible to apply for graduation. Then what can you do about this? Well, one of the things that you can do in addition to contacting a psychology major advisor is to generate a My Progress report. Okay, so I think that most students are familiar with how to use My Progress. If you're not, please go to this tutorial. It will help you to learn how to use the My Progress function. And it's a really important tool to help students check their progress towards their major and university requirements. So please, if you're not familiar with how to do that, please do so because it's really a helpful tool for you to use. Okay? When you've generated the My Progress report, please click on the box that says Expand All so that you can see all of the graduation requirements in your report. Okay? Once you've clicked Expand All, now you'll want to go through your My Progress report and note all of the requirements that are marked in red. Okay? Those marked in red indicate the course requirements that you have not yet completed. So you want to make a list of all of the requirements marked in red. Okay? And these are the requirements that I want you to pay particular attention to. These are the most relevant or important requirements to fulfill in order to be eligible for graduation. Okay, so the one thing that you should note there at the top of the report is how many total units you have taken. So in order to graduate, you need a minimum of 120 units completed. So you'll see there that it will tell you how many units you have taken and how many units you still need to reach the 120 units. So for example, if you have already taken 90 units, you will need 30 units to reach the 120. With the needed units, what you can do is divide that total by 3, and that will help you to estimate the number of courses you still need to complete. So, if you still need 30 units to reach 120 divided by 3, that means you need 10 classes, right? 10 classes in order to reach the 120 units. Okay? Now, in addition to the total units, you should also note these other university requirements. So your GE core requirements, your lower division core courses, areas A through F, your San Jose State Studies courses, those are the upper division GE courses, areas R, S, and V. American institutions, right, US 1, 2, 3. Your PE requirements, right, so all San Jose State students are required to have completed 2 units or 2 courses of PE. So if there are any missing university requirements that are marked in red, please make a list of those as well. Okay. Further down in your report, you'll see your major requirements. So for psychology majors, it will list the preparation course, which is Bio 21, Human Biology, and Bio 65, Anatomy and Physiology with a lab, all right, and all of the other psychology major requirements. So you want to go through those requirements as well, mark down any missing requirements that are marked in red. And then finally, at the end of the report, if you have a minor, then those will list the courses that you still need to complete to fulfill your minor. So again, if you're a psychology major, we do not require that you complete a minor. That is optional. Okay, so some students will have that if you've declared a minor. If you haven't, that will not show on your My Progress report. So again, you want to use this list of all of the courses that you still need to complete, right? That way you can estimate your expected graduation term and also plan your course schedules moving forward. So again, for example, let's just say that once you've made all of the courses, all of the list of your missing requirements, let's just say you count up the number of missing courses and there's 15 classes that you need to take still. So 15 classes, if you usually enroll in 5 classes per semester, that means that your expected graduation term would be 3 semesters from now. Okay, because you would be taking 5 classes for each semester. To complete 15 missing classes, that would mean 3 more semesters. Okay, so doing this My Progress report, listing all of your missing requirements, that gives you a way to determine when you might expect to graduate and also how you can plan out your course schedules so that you can meet your expected graduation term. All right, so basically I've gone over the process for determining, whether you're eligible to graduate and how to apply for graduation. Here on this slide, I'm listing the resources that could be helpful to you in this process. So again, here's the San Jose State graduation website. All of the information relevant to graduation is on that website. Here's the link for the online tutorial for how to apply for graduation. Here is a link to the Access Center. So if you have any questions about your university requirements, right? So anything having to do with your GE courses, right? Lower or upper division courses of GE, transfer credits, if there are any questions regarding errors on your My Progress report, you should contact an advisor in the Access Center. So here's the link to that advising center. You can go to the Access advisors for any help with those general academic issues. Again, if you don't have a link to apply for graduation in your academics page, or if you've already applied for graduation and you have questions about anything, you should contact your graduation evaluator. And then finally, anything having to do with your major or minor, if it's in psychology, then you can come to the advisors in the psychology department for guidance with those. All right, so here are the names of the psychology major advisors. There are 4 of us during the regular academic year. It's Dr. Freeland, Dr. Hosoda, Dr. Van Zelst, and myself. I'm Dr. Asuncion. You can find our advising availability on the psychology department advising page. There are 3 ways to get advising in the psychology department. One way is to simply email any questions you might have to our advising email address. Now, if you want to email a specific advisor, please put the name of that advisor in your subject line as well as the topic of your email. That way we can see that you want to speak directly to Dr. Van Zelst, and this is the reason I want to speak to Dr. Van Zelst. Okay, so if you want to choose a specific advisor to communicate with, then please put that advisor's name in the subject line and the reason that you want to speak to us in the subject line as well. We try our best to reply to you as soon as we can, but if you haven't received a response in 3 to 5 days, then please send us a polite follow-up and we'll make sure to prioritize your email. The best way to get advising is to schedule either an online or an in-person appointment with one of us. To do that, go to the advising page in the psychology department. Scroll down the page, you'll see all of our advising hours there. Use the links by our names to make either an online or a Zoom or a in-person appointment. When you click on the link, it's going to take you to Spartan Connect. That's how we make appointments for advising in the psychology department. If you've never used Spartan Connect, please look at this tutorial and it will guide you to how to make an appointment through Spartan Connect. Now, when you do make an appointment with us, regardless of whether it's on Zoom or if it's in person, please put the reason for your appointment in the comments box. So you might say something like, I want to talk to Dr. Asuncion about graduation, right? So when you do that, it helps the advisors to know what kinds of information we can give to you or the resources that we can provide to you when we meet during your appointment. Okay, so it's really helpful to us if you do put the reason in the comments box. And then the third way to get advising is to just drop in during our online or in-person drop-in hours. So again, you'll find those drop-in hours on the psychology advising page. If you're unable to make an appointment, you could always drop in during those drop-in hours. The only thing I'd like you guys to know is that sometimes many students drop in at the same time, so we may not be able to meet with every student who drops in. Okay, so in order for you to really guarantee that you're going to talk with an advisor is to schedule an appointment. That's probably the best way to do that. Okay, so I hope that this presentation has been helpful to you. I hope that it's answered questions that you may have had about the graduation process, how to know if you're eligible and how to apply. So again, if you have any additional questions, go to the San Jose State graduation website, or make an appointment or email one of the advisors, and we can help you further with that process. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.